All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into First Alert Weather here on WFSB Plus. I'm Channel 3 First Alert Meteorologist Tyler Hughes. Wanted to jump on and give you an update on the forecast because there's a lot going on with it, obviously. We're getting in new data all the time, and I want to give you an up-to-date look at what's going on. So we'll dive deep into the forecast here on WFSB Plus now. And then again, we'll have another update later on this afternoon. We'll jump back on the stream and give you the latest on Winter Storm Benjamin arriving this weekend. Before we get into Winter Storm Benjamin, though, we had what I called in one of the earlier newscasts, the appetizer, the hors d'oeuvres, the crudité, so to speak, of Winter Storm Benjamin, which was a couple inches of snow that fell in inland Connecticut earlier on this morning. So we did get some reports of over 3 inches, mainly in Tolland County. Tolland, 3.6 inches, Staffordville, 3.4 inches. But plenty of other spots saw 1 to 2 inches, slightly more, 2.5 in Summers, 2.2 in Southington. So you may have had to brush off the car this morning if you went to work or school. But now the good news is that slick conditions are less of an issue because temperatures are well up above freezing. And soak it in, because this is going to be the last mild day we have for quite some time. I mean, after this, in the First Alert 7-day forecast, we're talking about temperatures well below average even after Winter Storm Benjamin moves out. So that snowpack is going to stick around for a long time. Hopefully the 40s today, with a good deal of sunshine in the mix, will help to melt off some of the snowpack so that we can start fresh heading into this weekend. 41 is the temperature in Hartford as we speak right now at 11:03 on your Thursday morning. 44 in Meriden, 45 New Haven through Chester, and we're at 41 in Willimantic. So we'll get even a few degrees above this for high temperatures later on this afternoon. And then, of course, we cool things off tomorrow and certainly heading into the weekend. More on that here in just a bit. Here's sort of where we stand in terms of the winter storm forecasting process with Winter Storm Benjamin. 5 days out or more is when we generally begin to notice a pattern in the upper atmosphere. We notice, there's a possibility of some energy moving in the upper atmosphere. We start to look at what the forecast models maybe are suggesting, but it's a game of pattern recognition. Once we get to about 3 to 4 days out, and this is where we are right now, okay? 3 to 4 days out, we're watching it. We're looking, is it looking more or less likely? We're looking at model trends. And I did a really great explainer. You see models all over social media, right? Everybody's posting the American model, the European model, the model from the United Kingdom. Everyone has their own model they're posting all over social media these days. And it's not just celebrities, weather models we're talking about, right? But what we do is we look at trends in the models over a couple of days time span. And that's sort of the period we're in right now. It's once we get into 1 to 2 days out that we can really hone in on the exact timing, the snowfall amounts, things like that. But there are some things that we're pretty confident in already because this storm is such a big storm. So here's what we know so far about Winter Storm Benjamin. The timing will be Sunday all day into Monday. That timing is we're pretty confident on that. What we aren't as confident on is the Monday part. How long does the snow stick around through Monday? Is it out after the morning commute, or does it stick around into the afternoon with a few snow showers? That is still a bit of a question, but we know for sure that the snow is going to be ramping up through the day on Monday, or through the day on Sunday, rather. It'll be ramping up through the day on Sunday and last to some extent through Monday. This is going to be an all-snow event for most of Connecticut, with one possible exception, and I'll show you that coming up here in just a second. And the good news is it's going to be the light and fluffy snow. This isn't the heavy, wet kind of snow. I have another explainer on why that is, and I'm going to give you a tease on that because that is coming up on First Alert Weather Extra tonight. That's streaming at 6:30. So you can come right back here to WFSB Plus at 6:30. And that's not just me giving a boring, well, it's not boring, but giving an explainer about why The fluff factor is going to be a big deal with this event. That's a whole half-hour-long streaming show with Mark Dixon and Mike Slifer as well. So how much are we looking at? I mean, this is the million-dollar question, right? Everybody over the last couple of days has been asking me about snowfall totals. Here's the reality. A foot or more of snow is certainly possible across Connecticut. In fact, it's looking more and more likely. Exact snowfall amounts, who's going to see the most, as you'll see, that's still the question that's sort of hanging in the air. But prepare for a foot or more of snowfall. That's really the main point here. We have 3 first alert weather days as a result of the weather that's coming at us this weekend. First on Saturday, and Saturday is totally dry. In fact, we'll have lots of sunshine around on Saturday. But on Saturday, we bring in this really Arctic air mass from way up north. This air mass not only brings in temperatures that are in single digits, if not below zero for lows, but also brings a gusty wind along with it. And so the wind chill, especially Saturday morning, is going to be bone-chilling cold. We're talking -10 to -20. We have not seen wind chills this low so far this winter. If you are outside for any reason Saturday morning, you need to bundle up, or there's a frostbite risk associated with it, right? So just want to give you the heads up now. We're still, a couple days away, but Saturday morning is going to be bone-chilling cold, and it really won't feel warmer than 0 the rest of the day. Then Sunday, our snow arrives. It'll be very cold throughout the day as well, but the big story is the snow, of course, ramping up throughout the day Sunday, and it will end on Monday, but Monday we still stick with the cold as well. This is Futurecast. I want to give you a look at what it's going to feel like with the wind chill Saturday morning. This is 5 a.m. Saturday. Feels like close to -30 with the wind chill in Salisbury. And it does not feel warmer than -10 with the wind chill across the board. Actually, yeah, -11 is the warmest one. That's in Bridgeport. So it is going to be a blustery, downright cold morning on Saturday. Now let's get to the juicy stuff, right? Winter Storm Benjamin. This is a massive winter storm that's encompassing not just the eastern part of the U.S., but really the central part of the U.S. as well. Winter storm watches, that's what you see in that light blue color, are extending from New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, all the way up into New Jersey and upstate New York. Now, we have not had winter storm watches issued for any part of New England so far, and that's important to note. But we do expect that those winter storm watches for Connecticut, for the rest of New England, will be issued likely today, if not today, then tomorrow. So keep that in mind. These winter storm watches currently, over 127 million people are in these winter storm watches. That's 886,000 square miles. To put that in perspective for you, that equates to over 176 times the size of the state of Connecticut. So over 176 Connecticut's are currently under winter storm watch. It's crazy to think about. From all the way down in Dallas, Texas, up to northern New Jersey. So what does that mean for you now? What does a watch mean? It means you need to start preparing. A watch doesn't mean anything is imminent, right? The snow isn't going to start falling in the next 12 hours, but start preparing now. Break out the shovels, break out the snow blowers, make sure that you have enough fuel, especially for the snow blowers. If you have a gas generator, the nice thing about the light and fluffy snow is that power outages are usually less of a concern with the lighter snow as opposed to the heavy wet snow. And the good thing is as well, we're not expecting terribly gusty winds as a result, especially on Sunday and Monday. But it's still a good thing. If you have a generator, gas it up just in case, right? Snow blowers, shovels. The one thing is you won't really need the ice scrapers. We're not looking at a tremendous ice event here in Connecticut. And I want to show you why. This is one model. Don't pay too much attention to exact, we don't even have exact amounts on here, but pay attention to where the heaviest snow is falling through late in the day Monday. The heaviest snow is falling starting in the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, going all the way up through Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and into southern New England. Through the New York metro, through the DC metro. But now let's flip this map. Instead of looking at snowfall, let's look at ice. And the ice is going to be perhaps the even more crippling part of this storm. I mean, certainly a foot of snow is a significant amount of snow, but the ice in the south is going to be particularly crippling. We're looking at over half an inch of ice accretion, Texas, all the way up through the Carolinas. In fact, let's just do a little game here. We have this tool. I'm going to draw a box here in parts of Texas. The average ice accretion in that box, according to this model, is 0.6 of an inch of ice. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but consider this. It only takes 1/4 of an inch of ice for us to name an ice storm here at Channel 3. Remember, the criteria is you need either 6 inches of snow for all of Connecticut, or you need 1/4 of an inch of ice for most of the state. This is over double that we're going to see. And the ice is particularly not good because it's freezing rain, right? It falls as rain, freezes on the surface, leads to this blanket of ice. Going to cause likely significant power outages in the south and significant travel disruptions as well. If you're a frequent traveler, you know there's a lot of airline hubs that are somewhere on this map. I mean, Dallas is a major airline hub. Atlanta is a major airline hub. So is Charlotte. And even to some extent, Washington Dulles is in this ice as well. And so this storm, Sunday into Monday, even Saturday, Sunday into Monday, is going to cause crippling travel disruptions. Expect delays and cancellations if you're traveling into the first part of next week. All right. I promised you a look at the latest model data. While we're still on the stream here, let's look at the latest model data that has come in. And I'm just going to show you a snippet. This is just a snippet from Monday, because if you watched my explainer yesterday, I talk a lot about trends, right? This snippet is Monday at 5 a.m. from the latest run of the American model. Sorry, this is not the latest run. This is the previous run from last night. This is the latest run, right? Previous run, latest run from this morning. Previous run, latest run. And this snippet is at 5 a.m. What do you see when I flip back and forth? It's almost like going to the eye doctor, right? Which one do you see? 1 or 2, right? Previous run from last night, latest data we have in. What do you see? A very slight trend to the north of that area of low pressure, right? I'll annotate it out for you. We'll go back. This is the previous run from last night, right? Look where that mixing line is. It extends up from the Carolinas, well offshore of Long Island. This mixing line is now extending. Whoops, didn't mean to move the map there. I meant to use my little pointer. This mixing line is now extending through parts of Jersey. So this is a bit more northward. Because of that trend, we still believe that this event is going to be all snow for most of Connecticut. But because of that trend, and again, what you're seeing on your screen now is the latest model data. Because of that trend, wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of sleet, not freezing rain, sleet, mixing in at the very tail end of the storm in coastal New London County. New London, Groton, Mystic. Wouldn't be surprised to see some sleet right in at the end there on Monday. But the rest of us will see entirely snow. When you ask how much snow, it's hard to pinpoint who's going to see the most. This is something that the model still, there's not a lot of agreement on this far out, right? The American model, and these are the latest runs, by the way, the latest data. The American model's on the left-hand side of your screen, the European model's on the right-hand side of your screen, right? And you notice there's a slight difference in the bullseye, where the heaviest snow is falling, that purple shading. But what we can tell you with pretty good confidence at this point is that plowable snow is certainly likely, and possibly a foot or more. And there's a good chance that most of the state gets a foot or more of snowfall as a result of this storm. And that's with the latest data that we have in now. Again, starting Sunday, ramping up throughout the day, and ending on Monday. So that is the latest update we have right now on Winter Storm Benjamin. If you have any questions, I'm going live on WFSB Plus again at between 1:15 and 1:30. We'll send a push notification to your phone. But if you have any questions, either go on over to my Facebook page and drop a comment with your question, or you can email me, tyler.hughes@wfsb.com, with your question, and I'll answer it on that stream between 1:15 and 1:30, and we'll send a push notification to your phone when that happens. Speaking of push notifications, another great app to have heading into this weekend with the very impactful weather on the way is this app, the free First Alert weather app. Scan this QR code on your screen right now, or if you are watching on your phone, you can actually take a screenshot of it, save it to your photos, and then you can get the QR code that way. But it's very easy to find in the App Store. Totally free app. We post video updates on there multiple times a day. One thing that's also going to come in handy here is you get push notifications sent to your phone whenever a weather alert is issued for your area. And so when that winter storm watch is eventually issued, like we said, probably expect it later today or some point tomorrow. When that winter storm watch is issued for your location, you will get a push notification sent directly to your phone from the First Alert weather app. You don't even have to wait for us to tell you here on the stream or on the broadcast. So for now, I'll be back once again live later this afternoon with another update. Hope you have a great afternoon and enjoy the brief, mild weather and sunshine today. Take care, everybody.